Good afternoon, everybody. This is Phil. I'm doing a quick video about ammo and prepping in the prepping and gun communities. And it's more what to look out for. And by all means, when you're trying to look for a good deal online, especially for ammo, what this video is more about. When it's about ammo, I usually go to a search engine like AMMOSEEK and I peruse the different calibers of ammunition and I see what's the cheapest. And even if it's something I don't need, but it's rock bottom, inexpensive, but proven ammunition that works fairly well. I remember, for instance, um, 13, 14, no, I'm sorry, 2013, 14. I started buying more ammunition in bulk when I was raising my family, and precision ammunition in the green box was not good for 40 Smith & Wesson. For some reason, every other, I want to say 5 or 6 rounds, I had a jam in the 40 Smith & Wesson pistols I had at the time. I didn't like the 40 Smith & Wesson being a little more kick than 9mm. So trying to draw it down and do rapid taps was a little more difficult. It was a fun round, don't get me wrong, and I would not turn down a very cheap 40 Smith & Wesson pistol, but I wouldn't go out of my way to buy so much ammo this time around like I did before for 40 Smith & Wesson. So this time around, when my pay scale came in and the job really took off, along with a lot of hours, I invested in basically 223 and 9mm with 22. Okay, especially shotguns and shotgun rounds. There's a lot of birdshot that was very cheap during the big ammo-geddon back 2 years ago when COVID first started. It was really horrific trying to buy regular gun ammo. So this is not really supposed to be a video beating up AMMOSEEK, which is my search engine where I peruse all the companies. You go to one ammo caliber and you peruse all the companies, and it's basically from least expensive to greatest expensive. And that's how I make a lot of my scores. That's how I research a lot of stuff, especially with ammo. And I have compiled probably close to 70,000. I know it's over 70,000 rounds of ammunition. And I know it's much more than that. And the actual amount price, it's hard to say unless I sit there and categorize every box. Very few of each caliber has just an open box that's half used. So I can pretty much gauge how much I have in 9mm in particular I stockpiled. My thought process was basically investing in 9mm for handgun and carbine, because that's the most common around. If there's ever an apocalypse and there are no more guns around, 9mm handguns are going to be the number one handgun you'll find. Okay, you'll find 22s all over the place. So you get some 22. You have 22 rifles. You have 22 pistols. Okay, so 22 long rifle ammunition is the most prevalent ammunition around, but it doesn't mean it's for all handguns. You got a lot of rifles also. So if a lot of rifles are confiscated, then looking for a rifle out there in the public, even for 22, might be hard to come by. But there's a lot of 22 pistols, don't get me wrong. I just think that there's probably more 9mm, because that's the go-to round for battle-hardened vets, police officers. And no, it's not the strongest round in the world. And there's other people that swears by the 45 ACP and bigger rounds like the powerful 44 Magnum and what have you. But 9mm is the go-to round across the board. And there are so many 9mm pistols out there. So I started investing also in 380 because I had noticed a lot of 380 pistols were out there. So I started to expand my repertoire a little more. 223 shotgun shells of all different types. Buckshot are very very inexpensive right now, a dime a dozen. 223 buckshot, 22 long rifle for rifles and pistols. But my carbines and 9mm pistols I collect, I expounded upon. I expanded all my collection. 9mm handguns, making some 9mm handguns into carbines, buying actual 9mm carbines themselves, which are legal. And I see that I'm stockpiling past beyond 12,000 rounds of 9mm. I'm happy to do so because I expect with a larger family, they're going to be doling out some ammunition to practice throughout the years to come. Hopefully, I'm still alive to enjoy it. In any event, getting it cheap now is the goal of every prepper during this presidential fiasco with our current tyrant in chief. And supply lines are slowing down, coming to a closer halt. But some of the bigger businesses like the UPS, FedEx, are still functioning pretty well. And so when I go on AMMOSEEK, my ammo search engine, and I'm looking at the prices, I go to the first, second, and I go on down, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I see cheapest ammo. That's the name of the place. And they had $15.50 boxes, I believe, of 100 rounds of 9mm. So if you cut that in half, a 50-round box of ammunition is roughly $7 and change. Okay, so that's a great deal. And that's the lowest it's been since before COVID. And so I'm like, okay. No, I'm sorry. It's not the lowest because 9mm actually went down closer to $6 before COVID. But $7 is not to make fun of. So I'm happy with that. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll order 10 of those. So 10 of those is basically $156 or so. And I'm on their site because you hit it and you transfer out of AMMOSEEK to their site, cheapest ammo. And you put in your address where it's being delivered to from Florida to my place in Virginia. And there's a $254 shipping fee and change. My order for basically 1,000 rounds of ammunition was coming out to $400. So I'm like, wow, okay, I got to call these guys. And I'm not thinking about contacting AMMOSEEK yet. I contact them, and there's a guy that sounds like he has an accent from the Middle East, kind of, and younger. And he's like, yes, I'm the owner. And with the shipping comes a lot of details you might not be aware of. I said, no, that's $254 when my order is only $150 plus. That's $400 plus for basically a case of ammunition. That cannot happen. And some ammo places before, I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, before Christmas, were that cheap. Okay. $15, or I'm sorry, about $8 a box. You can order 20 boxes and have it sent to your house within $200. Tell me I'm wrong. You're telling me in less than 2 months, right before Christmas, or right before December, you're telling me that the supply lines broke down so quickly? So before this, for a reference, I do a lot of supply buying in my prepping for toilet paper. And I do it from cleanitsupply.com. This is not a plug for them, but I bought some inexpensive toilet paper from them, okay, in these boxes, 24 rolls in these boxes like that, okay, and they're so big, okay, and they're not the 96 pound or 96 count boxes that are super huge. And everything total came out to $150 with 10 of these boxes, okay, so they're not small. And another 10 of these packs that are this wide that are for cleaning, like 85 count cleaning wipes, Okay. So actually it was 15. It was 15. Everything total with that good deal and shipping came out to under $200. It came out to $190 and change. Okay. So that shipping was less than $40. Okay. Which I still think is too expensive. If we lower taxes on things, let people spend their own money, and didn't tax the heck out of businesses just because of the welfare state and a bunch of lazy fucks, okay? If we had a prosperous, growing economy, then the shipping lanes and the shipping lines all would be profiting off of a bustling business. And they'd be competing against each other to give the best rate the furthest distance. And all the rates would go down because they're trying to lower and get more customers and fight against, they're dumping their own costs against their competitors, and it would get lower and lower. So you look at something like $150, $160 worth of cleaning supplies, mostly boxes of toilet paper, and you would be looking at a delivery and total of about 170 some odd dollars, not 190 some odd dollars. But at the same time, these ammo dealers are fleecing the preppers and the gun community. They're not the only ones on AMMOSEEK. On AMMOSEEK, there's another one called Bestow Training Group out of Maryland. And they were kind enough to me to speak to me over the phone. And they said, hey, I'm sorry that, we also sent a little package with a target on there and range rules, and it's stuff to help people. I'm like, well, I'm just buying ammo, and I was just put off by your $150 at the time for basically $100 worth of ammunition, which was only like a half a case. It was like $96. And after taxes, it was $106. But delivery was $150. So it came out to pushing towards $300 for only 500 rounds. It's like, nah. Well, they actually, the guy on the other side of the phone from Bestow said, well, because you brought that concern to us, we're going to send you 300 free rounds. I was like, oh, okay. That was what I was going to buy anyways. I was like, thank you. And so it didn't come right away. And I sent them an email, and I wrote it out, actually. And I was waiting to send it because I was waiting for it to come in. It took like 3 weeks after that phone call. And I was being polite about it. But as soon as it came and I saw the ammunition, I was like, oh, that was very kind of them. They held up their bargain by saying, let's make it right to you. But nothing has changed. Okay. I sent them an email and I said, thank you. You made it good with me. I will try to purchase from you again in the future. So within a pay period, I ended up buying the original thing I sent for online on my phone. And I took the hit anyways because they didn't change it. But they're still doing it. Okay. A month later, they're still doing it. And it's insane. But they're not as bad as Cheapest Ammo. Cheapest Ammo is a lie. They are showing, they're doing bait and switch. They were showing the cheapest ammo online, and then they're taking all the money for shipping, pocketing it, and sending shipping to you. The shipping cost to you. And it's insane. There is no way a product costs $150 and is so heavy and so big that it costs $256 extra dollars to come from Florida to Virginia. And I had a conversation with one other store before when the last hurricane in Florida occurred. And we were talking about ammo, and he said, yeah, there'd be some rise in prices during shipping, but not that much. And I bought from this guy because he was hit hard and the store was saved. But out in front and in the back of the store, behind him, a lot of people got wiped out because of the flood, the hurricane caused. I was like, I can understand that if that damages shipping also, but this is ridiculous. Okay, Bestow Training in Maryland is like an hour and 10 minutes away. I can drive there and pick up this stuff. Okay. And it's right around the Beltway, basically. And this place from Florida, cheapest ammo, look out for them. Bad service. Okay. At least Besto tried to work with, or Besto tried to work with me. Besto Training Group at least tried to work with me. But I won't order from them again because they're not trying to lower their rates for real. Real low ammunition rates and working out something to function with FedEx or UPS or even the USPO and have cheaper rates across the board to help their customers. On AMMOSEEK, the second part of this video, AMMOSEEK, I've spoken to before, sending a comments email to them, and it's just an email, and they send me back an email to my email, and it's like, we can't do anything about that. I was like, okay, well, I'll stop using AMMOSEEK, and I did for like 6 months. And they said, well, if you want to, go ahead. We're not going to tell the sellers what to put on our site, and that's your right. You know, they basically gave me the lip service through email, and they also said that they are not going to adjust anything while sellers put their information on there. I said, okay, well, you're still immoral allowing that to happen, where people spread your .com around, and thank you for the good service you used to have. But why can't you do something like a gentleman's bet or a gentleman's contract? Okay, you're allowed on here, but if you receive too many complaints, you will be banned for a month period. It happens again, and then you have too many complaints, you'll be banned for half a year. Okay, it happens too much after that, you'll be banned for a full year. It happens too much after that, like a collection of 5, 6, 7 complaints. Okay, you'll be banned indefinitely for 2 years. Okay, and go on and go on and go on. When they realize that they have less advertising on these ammo and gun search engines, then they'll think twice about taking advantage of people's fear, taking advantage of very intelligent gun people that are very smart that want to use guns and practice daily. Some people do it for a living, training or shooting or in competition. Okay. And you want to buy a bunch of ammo. I'm not trying to resell ammo to anybody. It's all for my family. I am not a gun store for people down the block. Okay. My point is, AMMOSEEK was very rude that time. So I sent them another email today. And I basically highlighted, I know we spoke to them before, or I spoke to them before. We had email interchange, and I explained what the situation was. You should make a gentleman's contract that AMMOSEEK has a right to kick these these fraud sellers. They're not fraud sellers in the literal sense, but they're kind of scammers. They're bait and switch tactics, which are immoral. Okay, and they're taking advantage of people's need and their want to get ammo. Okay, they do want to spread the wealth also to the ammo makers and manufacturers, the gun makers and manufacturers. Okay, and I'm living proof because I collect all kinds of guns and I pick and choose. Don't get me wrong. I try to figure out the need for it in particular. There's very few, there are some guns actually that I won't buy because I have no need for it and they're boring. They're just really boring. No historical, history to it. No, I want to say order for the gun, the use. Could you use it for target practice? Could you use it for hunting? Could you use it for self-defense? Okay. Could you use it for your house to give out to family members in a moment's notice? Friends, if there was a real emergency coming down on your community. And so, I can be picky and choosy if I want. I'm at a point in my life right now where I do have the flourishing possibilities of prosperity that I'm content with. And I can also hold on to my money and not spread it. But I think like a prepper, okay, get what I need and wait for that rainy day where it might be needed. Okay, that's what most preppers and gun nuts do, those who collect guns and ammo. And so at this time, I warn people, when you go to AMMOSEEK, if you see the same thing, inundate their email and let them know the same thing. So I'm not the only person. Maybe a few other people did it too, but they're not the only person. And anybody that has to deal with these incredulous sellers online, and I'm not saying they're thieves, I'm just saying they're low down, dirty scumbags to take advantage of the prepper community and the gun community that also wants them to prosper. But a good deal is a good deal across the board. Those good, cheap deals, okay, they might not initially prosper over, but that brings in more and more people that aren't able to buy the ammunition. And then when those people are able to buy more expensive, better ammunition, they're willing to pay those higher prices because they had a good taste in their mouth and they had a good experience with someone like Cheapest Ammo. Tell me I'm wrong, okay? Tell me I'm wrong. I've been purchasing ammo now for close to 15 years, post police officer, and I've seen it go all over the place in terms of costs. And I've seen people who are no longer with us because their business failed. And I'm seeing new people that are making the same mistakes, trying to make a cash out living off of someone else's pain because of their fear. Okay, that's not a good business model to go by. We don't need your ammo that bad, Cheapest Ammo or Bestow Training. I got plenty of ammo right now. I could literally open up my own ammo store if I had a license, whatever it takes to get the business license. And I don't know if there's some kind of regulation selling ammunition. I don't know, over the counter. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But ammunition is not regulated that much that I couldn't figure it out and become a very prosperous business owner. Give me $100,000. Like I want to do my documentary with eventually one day, God willing. Anyways, be cautious of AMMOSEEK, and if you see any raw deals on there, contact them also. They have an email at the very bottom. It's a great search engine, but go all over that search engine and look for other ammunition that you may need in the future. You might not shoot all the time, like double odd buck 12 gauge. During the scare last year and everybody tightening up their ammo and it becoming really expensive, I bought a lot of 12 gauge buckshot, and I probably have close to 5,000 rounds of that now. I don't want to tell you no lie, but it's up there. It's getting up there, and it's very bulky to make space for, so I curtailed that, and I cut that back some. But make sure these search engines hear from you about these unscrupulous gun dealers and ammo dealers. Let them know as soon as possible by email. Thank you. You're helping out everybody else too. And most of the good, reputable businessmen and women out there that deal in the gun community and the ammo community, they'll agree with you and they'll work with you. Thank you. Take care.